let's start with you first. With the current crisis, with what we have going on, how have you leveraged this model for business continuity?
Yeah, so one of the benefits we had is already being deployed, already having this solution in place for our internal teams that I manage, as well as our partner teams with Teleperformance. Having the model already in place, we were able to deploy very rapidly, keep our service levels extremely high for our customers, on the business side, running 30-second ASAs even over the last couple of weeks. So really a huge benefit of having the deployment already executed. As we went into this, we did have some unseen opportunities. I don't think any of us in our business continuity planned for not being able to get into the site to get the equipment needed for folks to work from home. So we had some challenges that we had to work through, but even with those, we were able to execute very quickly for our customer base.
That's, one might say good planning to have had this, or good on you to have had this in place prior to this challenge here. Peter, obviously, current times cause us to act differently and adapt very quickly. What implication do you see from your perspective with current environment as it relates to work at home?
Amit, the current circumstances, as you say, have dictated some very, I would say, some very fast moves by a lot of different organizations. Look, the reality is that consumers today are going to be more conscious about being able to contact enterprises from which they're buying products and services in many different domains. Think about the ability of somebody to be able to contact an airline to deal with either canceling or postponing a flight or getting a flight moved up. Think about hotel reservations. Think about perhaps being able to get in touch with a healthcare insurer or a healthcare provider. The capacity for an organization to be able to service these consumers, whether it's through digital means or voice means, is going to be crucial. It's going to be exceptional. And the fact that so many companies have decided that they need to embrace work at home and take work at home as the manner in which they're going to be able to engage and to be able to meet and exceed the consumer's expectations through this pandemic crisis, I think speaks volumes to its capacity to be agile, as well as the model's capacity to drive high levels of service. The reality is we've seen shutdowns in a whole series of jurisdictions around the world. Being able to virtualize work and being able to do it from home, from the residences of individuals in a compliant manner and in an efficient manner is so important. And I think this is why we're seeing the perhaps organizations that might not have looked at work at home in the past have decided to embrace it, or at least give it a try as a means of being able to get through what promised to be a series of very challenging weeks or months ahead.
So Scott, if I might put this to you, Peter, based on Peter's last comment about what companies might have not contemplated about doing work at home prior to this, what advice would you give companies that are, they may be forced to do it now, but in a longer term perspective, what advice would you give companies?
Yeah, I think most companies have now moved from do I want to do work from home to how do I do work from home? And a couple of key areas that I think we learned over the years. One, make sure there's a real focus on your leadership around how to effectively manage remote work resources. It is not done the same way as when you have folks that are in the office every day. So make sure that leadership focus is there. Another key point is, I think we're moving to the realm where this is going to be more normal, that we have to implement things like this going forward. And I wouldn't wait for business continuity, disaster recovery plans to have to enact this. I would look at it as having some percentage of your workforce always utilizing this. It helps you keep your technology current. It makes you better at it, so that when you do have to implement it, you're ready to implement effectively. And the last piece I would say is there's a lot of ways to manage your employee base with good policies, practices, and again, back to that leadership. that I think can make this much more effective than just, hey, here's a computer, go home and good luck.
Yeah, and Terry, I think you had a perspective on kind of the balance between work at home and how you leverage that.
It's true, and I want to go back to what Scott said earlier. The best DRP plans on the planet don't take into consideration the government saying you can't come into work. So learning from this and having work at home be part of the overall business as usual strategy. So when COVID-20 or COVID-21 or whatever, something that we don't even know about yet hits, we have this resource available to us is really, really prudent. And I just want to say, to the company, to watch us mobilize the thousands of workstations that we've done over the last several weeks it is truly a testament to Teleperformance and the global collaboration that we have. And our IT folks, our operational folks, our biz dev folks, our client services folks have just done an amazing job of putting it out there because it's truly unprecedented.